Well, it's a late morning, I guess you could say. Haven't had lunch yet, but I came down after printing and doodling and carrying on yesterday, and I just thought I'd give you a little update. This is the Leon's Royal Blue with the silver bullet chassis fitted to it, and with the modifications to the Puff and Chuff board. It fits really nice. One thing I've learned is my smoke housing is too far forward. I'm going to have to either shorten the nose or come up with a new location. And that's common with these guys. The actual smoke is closer, as you can see on the nose. The stack is further back. So I have several adapters to bring the smoke back. I'll be able to take care of that down the stream. Main trick was, can the tabby things fit down into the grooves, and does everything fit, and would there be room for a firebox? And as you can see, the fields are way back. They're back there at least 10, maybe 15 millimeters, so plenty of room for a firebox and a cab setting and an engineer and a fireman sticking out. In fact, some people want to open those windows up like Leon did on my Corvette engine. He may do that to his, I don't know. And this window too. So if you put a fireman or engineer here, it's realistic. You could see that. This is the tender as we ran it the last time. So these are just all the standard parts. The differences are the sound system is neither here nor there. It's gone. It's kaput. The speaker is neither here nor there. It's gone. And that's about it. Everything else is pretty much the way you've seen it, the way it's been operating, with the sound system sitting on the floor and the speaker sitting over here on the floor somewhere. But what I've been doing the last 3 days or so is re-engineering this base. And, somehow in retirement, you lose things, you lose skills sometimes. So I seem to have lost my organizational structural skills because I've searched high and low and I cannot find this file anywhere. I don't know where I put it. I don't know what I labeled it. I don't know where it is. I've got 4 hard drives. I've searched them all. Can't find it. So I had to re-engineer it. I had to go find another version, an older version that wasn't modified the way this one has been or was, and I just created another one. Now you can see right here there's a missing hole. That's my error. I drilled that hole out. I was supposed to move it from there to there and I didn't. So I hand drilled it to fit everything. These are going to be the pivots for the trucks. And we can use 6-wheel on this. This is 6-wheel here. It doesn't look too crowded, I don't think. These are the openings for the leads coming in for the all-wheel pickup. They'll come in here and pop up. And then all these holes and slots are to fit the Royal Blue tender. My objective, my core objective was to fit all the stuff we had operating in a standard Royal Blue tender. I happen to have a Royal Blue engine, not one of the better ones, but there it is. It's complete. It has the tabby things and all that. And I don't have a Royal Blue tender, but what I do have is a silver bullet tender. The silver bullet matching that guy. And if you know them, you know they're the same. So this is the frame that I ended up with. Got a couple here that were prototype, print, test kind of a thing. And that's what I did. And this is one of my test pieces. You can see pencil marks on it and holes drilled and holes marked and all kinds of stuff that I go through. And this morning I came down, I had everything printed late yesterday, had it all sitting here. I came down and I just methodically cleaned everything and assembled a second tender with all those parts plus the sound system and the speaker. Now, it doesn't look too cramped, does it? The sound speaker, as you can see, pokes up over the top. I could put it down a couple millimeters, but I'm still going to have that a lip there. But I went out and gathered up all my other tenders for comparison. As you can see, the coal load flies up here. This one has a real high hump. Leon's given this one a generous hump. This is for his engine. There's a generous hump for coal here, and this is that's a K5, but it looks like it might be a tad short, don't know yet. And this was another streamliner that he had put together, and it's the length, but I'm not sure. It might have the height, or I can just put in another speaker. It's okay. It's okay. But if you see this K5 extended version, look at that. That would be, let's bring it up to where it is. It's right there, and it's right, oh geez, yeah, that's just going to be perfect. If you look at that alignment, that's going to be perfect. So we have a K5 tender that's perfect. We have this K5 tender, which is more of the original. It gets a little cramped in these corners here. I'm not sure how that's going to work, if the speaker can really fit in there, but it could be done. I could get a smaller speaker. And this is Leon's engine, tender for his engine. As you can see, he's given me lots of room here. But look at that profile. He's actually raised it. Now I'm up on steps, so it's going to be a little lower, but he's raised it in an arc. So that's a big help, frankly. And there's no, I think, so now the challenge, of course, you know what, in the Atlantics, this is a metal Atlantic. So for this to fit, there's no, either is no speaker or is the tiny speaker. That's the idea. But everything else could fit inside here quite readily on this platform if I just shortened it for that. And then you'd have to use four-wheel trucks. So I'm going to pull this out. The speaker's probably going to fall over because it's not really attached to anything. Everything else is. Everything else is in the tabs, like the tabs of the that you would have on the real engine. Yeah. And there's the speaker. But you can see the sound system is down below in a tray. There's its grounds. There's its hot. There's its trigger. On the other side, you can't see them, but speaker wires would come out. These are the two buck boosts that would take power. One would take power from this for the smoke. Another one would take power from the sound system. And a third one takes power and brings it down here to the motor control board, which is right here. Now, these are all screwed in place. They're fastened. So if you were to route the wires, you would route them exactly to the length and solder them in and make them tidy. And they should be slim, okay? Slim pickings, meaning look good. The other thing, as you can see, these openings down in here, this is where the power would come up and would come up from the trucks right through those two slots. This would be the rear truck. He would come up like, he would just poke down that hole. Oh, I won't go in. Okay, there he goes. And then he would just come up here, and here's track power. Boom. And then the left side would come up here. Front left side would come up that second hole, and then come over here, and then this front would come up. So I've got the wiring canals or channels for the power. Now, the last thing we talked about, and this is not it. This is the, pretend this is it. This is the diode piece with the 7805, if it were. It could come, it's not this tall. We know it's not this tall, but what my point is, there's room in here. It comes in above the sound, and I could screw it to this piece here or to this piece here and just set it right in there. And I think it would be low enough. You know, this is too tall. It would be low enough, and it could fit in here. We'd make it fit in there. So now the blobby thing, the diode thing is here. The wiring is routed. These wires just go from here to here, basically. The motor wiring would come in like here. Oops, get back to you, just like you always want to get in the show. This would always come in here and go forward. Then there would be a short lead that would come up here and go to the diodes for the trigger, for the relay, short wire to the trigger of the relay, and then a second set that would go all the way to the motor, trigger, and speaker wire. And speaker wire is right here. So I would be bringing 2 wires back. Let's do this, okay? Let's do this right here. Motor gets 2 wires. The trigger for the Puff and Chuff gets 2 wires. The Smart Smoke gets 2 wires. Oh, and of course, the Puff and Chuff get 2 wires. Puff and Chuff. 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 4, 6, 8. 8 wires going forward. Lights could be come off of any one of the other pieces, and using LEDs, it's minimal. It's millivolts. And the Flyer engines had 4, so we're going to have 8. And how I do that is I route them out this opening like we normally would, and they would run along. They would come out here, and they would run underneath the coupler and then up in front of the motor and then down wherever they need to go. So they would not be hanging out. I like to have the firewall open so you can see whatever is going on in the compartment. I have misplaced my coal load. You know, it's a piece of sheet metal that slides in here. I wanted to see how it humps up, because I know it humps up right at this edge. It starts to hump up. And I just wanted to make sure, or look and verify, is there clearance? Is there enough clearance? And what would I have to do to fit that? But I'm confident I'll be able to do that. I got to find that part. It's here. It's in this basement. It's in the lab. Where is it? I don't know. I mean, I knew I needed it, so I kept it. I just don't know where the hell I put it. So the last few days I've been hiding, kind of, not really talking much, but this is what I've been doing, designing these parts and thinking about how I'm going to route this. How can I fit it? Can I fit it? Can I do what I want to do here? And I think moving the sound here works out. It's going to work out height-wise, it's going to work out width-wise, and it's going to work out for the Silver Bullet and the Royal Blue perfectly. It's going to work out. I mean, the meaningful parts, right? The really hard parts, they fit, okay? I don't know about this baby. This one, they fit, but the speaker might have to get modified or shrunken. Or maybe the Atlantics, either they have a longer tender or they don't have sound. I don't know what to say. We can talk about it. This one, oh, he's put the bottom on. Okay, yeah, well, this will fit, no problem. I can see that. And this one does not have the bottom on, and it will fit. It's a little shorter, but we could fit a different speaker in there. Okay, and then Leon's is snug because he wraps around this thing, but it does fit. And then you can see here, he's got room. I could lay the speaker back if I had to, more of a reclining position. So I am really happy with this fit. I mean, I have designed a lot of these. So I've used a lot of my lessons and what doesn't work and what you need to worry about, and positioning and strength and all that. So I think I've got this together with some good screws. Stainless screws and some other things. The corners, as you see here, are screwed down to this base, right? And I've got the screw holes here. I have not verified the positions are accurate, but I will I'll have to remake these. I can't find them, okay? So I have to copy that shape, bolt them on here, make sure I'm clearing where the tabs would go. Because the intention all along for this was to make it a screw-on, right? A screw-on tender body with those pieces then those corners glued into the corners here, 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 and here, and then they become the tapped holes to fasten this down. So you would set this all together, and then you'd put those screws in the bottom into those 4 angled pieces that would be glued into the cover. That's how I was going to do it, because they're metal, and the tabs are usually broken or don't work. So I just made clearances if you have them, and then we'll put a screw in the corner, and we'll give these out with the kit. If you buy the kit, you get those too. So you get those kits sticking up and all that. And then these wheels, how they work. Here's a set that I was going to cannibalize for later, but you can see from here, these wheels would just sit on the bottom. Do it like this. Set this here. They would sit like that. And then there's a pin that goes down the center and would poke down, sit inside that cavity, and then you'd put a screw in the bottom and screw them together. That's how you get all-wheel pickup for this truck, or for this assembly. That's how you do it. So it'd be like that. If that's the back end, that's the front end. There, it'd be like that. That's not a bad looking picture there, is it? Of course, don't cooperate. I don't care. Yeah, so you could do 4-wheel. Maybe I'll save the 6 wheels for his longer engine. I don't know. You guys tell me. I mean, these things could be bolted on this afternoon. This whole thing could be on the track tonight if we think that's worth doing. Boy. Anyway, I'm feeling absolutely perfect. We know the sound system, the Puff and Chuff works, so my only challenge is recreating everything we had just last week, which we know worked, and fitting it together, putting it on the train and track, and seeing if we can get 100 laps with 10 or 15 cars. Something like that. Tried to do a life test. All right, gang. Wow, went way over. The one last thing I wanted to show you while I was here was the truck design that Leon had asked for. He really liked the Hudson Northern tender side frames instead of these side frames, which are sort of industrial. Or these ones, yeah. These ones here, which have the huge coil spring, which are really not accurate at all. I don't know. Well, I copied that off a real train, by the way, but I don't know where. But I agree, those are not worthy of the big engines. So he wanted something like this. Okay, so, it's gone. What did I do? Oh, I know, I opened the wrong one. Yeah, I opened the wrong one. I want this one. There we go. So what I did was I went to this original design. You can see the coils there, and here's the coils here. And what I did was I sliced it just behind the surface here. So that leaves me the back plate with all of my exact holes. These were mounting holes for the pivot, and these are mounting holes for the axle bushings. And now I can modify this or create a new one according to the dimensions on the Hudson. You see? Copied all the dimensions off the Hudson. I just need to create this face and stick it back on. I'll probably have to round these down, make sure they're hidden and everything. But that's the next step for his engine, and that would be, I'm not saying the last step, but it's one of the short list items for his engine. So if I can get this thing designed in the coming week, and if I can get this thing finalized in the coming week, and we don't break anything. Oh, and I got to move the nose back and get the firebox. I mean, I have them. I just have to fit it, make sure it still fits, and then put the lighting in it. Put the lighting in this. I just do the lighting, then I take it out and give it to him as a separate piece. Put some linkage on here. I use these trucks for this test and just run it. And I think we can say we have completed the development of this pretty cool Puff and Chuff American Flyer Next Generation S. Okay, I get to work. It's almost lunchtime. 20 minutes! I never talk that long. No wonder my throat's getting dry here. All right, gang. Wow, it's a lot of talking. Not much training, but we're gonna get there. Oh, you want to see a treat? I was rooting around and found this old thing. I wanted to build a diesel truck in 3D. That's down the road. Okay, all right, I'm quitting. Later, gang. I hope y'all understand and appreciate this. This is way cool. Way cool. Strong, rigid, functional, and it looks like I can put all the parts in I need. It's great. In the silver bullet or the royal blue tender key, or any of the other custom ones, or any of the larger ones. All right, we'll talk later, probably tonight.